Does size matter? How big is too big? For millennia, men have been asking themselves these questions, but today we are going to apply them to the topic of buying gold. Coming up. Hey everyone, welcome to Campbell's Coins. When it comes to buying gold, how big should you go? This channel has attempted to help people make the best stacking decisions when it comes to types of gold, but does size matter? I believe it does. Gold bars and gold coins come in a wide variety of sizes, all the way from a quarter grain bar to 100 ounce bars. The Perth Mint and the Royal Canadian Mint have produced 1 ton and I believe 2-ton coins, but this isn't something that regular people are buying on a consistent basis. It's also not something that these mints are producing on a consistent basis. I would also argue that even 100 ounce gold bars are too much, leaving the majority of the population buying gold in the 1 kilo size and under. When I first started stacking back in 2005, I didn't know much, and I had my eyes set on the 5 ounce and 10 ounce gold bars from PAMP. Back then, a 10 ounce bar was going for around $5,000. I'm glad I did not buy these gold bars. As you stack precious metals, you have to examine your exit strategy and your goals. Why are you stacking precious metals? Is it to one day trade your gold for property? Is it for insurance? Is it savings? Something else altogether? Maybe all of the above? You have to examine your exit strategy because the decisions that you make today could have consequences down the road. Maybe you put all your savings into a kilo gold bar. That's a lot of wealth in a small package. This is a silver kilo, and the gold version will be slightly smaller due to gold's density. But what are you going to do if you had to dip into that savings for some emergency that comes up? You're forced to liquidate your entire gold bar to pay for it. This is assuming, of course, that you have no other fiat savings, but you guys can see my point. Who can you sell this kilo gold bar to? A kilo of gold costs around $63,373. That's quite a bit for anyone to just snag up on a whim. More than likely, you will only be able to sell to an LCS for under spot. Let's move down to a 10 ounce gold bar. Costs just shy of 20 grand. By the way, I'm not using APMEX because I approve of their pricing. They have some of the highest pricing out there. I'm using them because they are just about the only ones in the industry who have such a wide variety of gold products to show you fine folks. If Monument Metals had this assortment, I would be showing you their pages. $20K for 10 ounces of gold is still pricey. Again, I think most people's recourse would have to be to sell to an LCS. You don't have a whole lot of buyers that can just pay 20 grand for this tiny 10 ounce bar. 5 ounce bars, now we're getting into a more affordable rate. It's still extremely pricey, but it has a larger buying pool than the 10 ounce and kilo sizes. You'll notice the premiums are starting to go up as the size gets smaller. Now we're into the meat and potatoes of the video, the 100 gram bar. This bar is still very pricey, but compared to everything else that we've discussed, it's not that bad. And the buyer pool is much larger in the $6,300 range than in the $10,000 range. So you'll probably find a buyer that isn't an LCS, and you'll probably get over spot for it. Plus, check this out. The 100 gram bar has roughly the same premium as the kilo version. It's slightly more, but it's basically the same. So why put $63,000 into one gold bar when you can buy 10 100 gram bars for roughly the same price? If I have an emergency, I can liquidate 100 gram bar instead of trying to liquidate an entire kilo. For me, the 100 gram is just big enough with small premiums. I wouldn't get anything larger than 100 grams because it just doesn't make sense financially. There are a lot of gold bars and coins in various sizes, and this conversation isn't gold bar specific. If you decide to get large gold coins or bars, get something that would be extremely popular. If you get a raw bar like this one, you might have a harder time selling it than you would one that comes with its own COA or an assay. This 100 gram that I purchased it does not have an assay. I purchased it from APMEX years and years ago when the prices were actually reasonable. But now, like, the price for one of these raw ones without a COA is virtually the same price as one that comes with the COA. So pay like the $6 extra to get that COA. The same goes for popular releases. People love PAMP gold. People love PAMP in general. If I purchased an Istanbul gold bar of the same weight and asked people to choose between the PAMP or the Istanbul, not only would the PAMP be picked more, I could probably get more money for it than the Istanbul. Now you can see why one costs a little bit more. My brother recently got into stacking, and he has been asking a lot of questions about why things are the way that they are. And like a lot of new stackers, gold is just gold to him. He doesn't get why 1 ounce gold bar from one company costs more than a 1 ounce gold bar from another company. And I told him the stacking community isn't exactly logical sometimes. The better answer is because one bar from a company might be more popular than another, the design might be better, and maybe the other one has more features. In the case of the PAMP, their cast series of bars is great. Their Fortuna series of bars is phenomenal. The design on the PAMP compared to the Istanbul really isn't comparable. The PAMP also has a serial number and uses the Veriscan system. The Istanbul just comes in an assay. There's no serial number and no security features. To reiterate, your buyer pool shrinks the larger size that you purchase. For me, even though I can afford to get a 10 ounce bar, I would rather get the 1 ounce size due to their liquidity. This 100 gram bar is a novelty of sorts. It's not a consistent portion of my stack. It's almost too big for me. I thought I could get through this video without doing this, but
that's what she said.
It's almost too big because it could be difficult to sell compared to 1 ounce coins or bars. But as I mentioned, the premium is basically the same as a kilo gold bar, and the price per ounce, the 100 gram bar, is cheaper than buying the 1 ounce bars online. I'm showing this tiny gram bar as an example in comparison, but when it comes to buying gold that small, I would just avoid it in general, especially if it's not in an assay. If it is in an assay, I still would avoid it, but the price is actually more static and you're more than likely to get the price that you paid back. The smallest gold that I buy is 1/10 of an ounce. The premiums are higher for sure, but it's incredibly liquid. Look at the richest man in the world, Scrooge McDuck. Is this dude swimming in large gold bars? Heck no, he's swimming in coins. And by the looks of it, they seem to be 1 ouncers. He knows what's more liquid. He certainly didn't amass all these gold coins by being a dummy. Of course, I'm being facetious here. This sentiment that I've been talking about for the gold size applies to other metals. Platinum, for instance. I think we will see platinum go up in price, and the same logic that I use for gold can be applied here. I would just stick to 1 ounce platinum, with the small size that you should get being 1/10 of an ounce. For silver, I don't have this stringent stance. I love 1 ounce coins. I love 10 ounce bars. I love kilo bars especially. Silver will never reach gold prices unless we continue using it as much as we are and we exhaust the mineable supply on the earth. The U.S. Geological Survey estimates that we will exhaust mineable silver supply in the entire earth by 2028. And I believe that was their date in the report. I think it will be more around 2035. When this happens, silver prices will shoot up and then you might have some issues selling the larger bars. Until such time, when the world crashes, stack whatever makes the most sense to you and do what you can when you can. Your time is your most precious asset, and I appreciate you spending it here with me. If you're interested in other topics like this one, check out the other videos I have on my channel. Thank you all for watching. This is Campbell's Coins, and that is my 2 cents.